Yo, what is going on, you guys? Bashtian here, and today guys, I'm coming to you with my revised post Photon Hypernova Kashtira deck profile, cash money, as we say right here on this channel. So Kashtira is pretty much already been crowned as the next tier 1 to tier 0 deck coming out of Photon Hypernova. Well, we have already received at least half the deck already. But the second wave of support, I should say, is going to be coming out of Photon Hypernova this upcoming February. So make sure you have your wallets ready, boys, because this is not going to be an inexpensive deck whatsoever. We already have Unicorn and Kashtira Fenrir running up all of TCG player prices. It's ramping up everywhere. The good thing is that the rest of the deck does seem to be more or less affordable. I'm not talking about the Kashtira support. I'm talking about the rest of the actual support cards that we're going to be using outside of the archetype. So it is nice to go ahead and see. But without further ado, guys, I just want to go ahead and get right into this profile. I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So if you guys go ahead and smash that like button, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so here we are with our 41 card deck list. Now first things first, guys, we're going to go ahead and knock out some of the Kashtira names. A lot of them we already know already, being the 3 copies of the Unicorn. Unicorn allows you to search Kashtira spells, which is really good, and then 3 copies of Fenrir, which then allows you to search a Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand. Now it does not say you cannot search anything except for Fenrir, so it is nice that you get to go ahead and search itself, having always that consistency to have this card. This card, Kashtira Fenrir, has come up already as one of the best cards as a staple in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And having its own deck dedicated to it just gives it that much more viability and will only make the card go up more in value. Next, we have 2 copies of a brand new card coming out of Photon Hypernova, which is Scareclaw Kashtira, or Kashtira Scareclaw, however it's going to be here. But this Scareclaw card is actually really good. So it already has an effect that allows to be essentially a free special summon only by banishing a Kashtira or Scareclaw card from your hand to the graveyard, which is perfectly fine. I mean, it's not like it's going to affect you in any way because it does get you a free level 7 on board. It also is a free monster in defense position and deal damage with its defense as well. So it is nice to have for that versatility. Kind of works like a super heavy samurai. I'm not really sure if Scareclaws do the same thing. I believe they do. Next, guys, we played 2 copies of the Kashtira Ogre. So a lot of people don't like playing Ogre, and I understand why. They're pretty much going to be leaning a lot more towards the tier limit Kashtira. I actually opted not to play the Kashtira tier limit card in favor of Ogre, only because you're excavating top 5 cards of your opponent's deck specifically, so there's no real reason for you to be excavating from your deck in Kashtira, at least not to my knowledge. I have not seen the benefit of it, so having Ogre is really good because not only you're excavating top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, you're also banishing one of those activated cards, and should they want to activate anything in the graveyard that allows them to fusion summon, so you're going up against tier limit, you have ways to go ahead and counter that as well. If you guys don't feel comfortable with that, once you already know you are going up against tier limit, you can easily go ahead and take this card out of your deck and slide in something that would be a little bit more effective. Maybe an actual Karibo going second. It would be nice to have also. Next, we are playing 3 copies of the Kashtira Rise Heart. So Rise Heart is a phenomenal card. Not only does it give you a free level 7 on board, it is another normal summon that you don't have to rely on gimmicks or effects in order to go ahead and bring onto the field. It does this very easily just by being able to banish any Kashtira card from your deck, which then you can easily go ahead and get back. So it automatically is really good for the overall strategy, giving it an additional extender. And that's what I pretty much mentioned in my last video, is that with Kashtira, you just want to get as many of these on the board as possible. With the pre-Photon Hypernova build, I should say, is you're just adding as many extenders as possible. But with the Kashtira strategy, they are all essentially big extenders, but they all have phenomenal effects with them as well. So having this ratio, I think, is going to give you the best opportunity to not only have consistency, but also have the best power for your deck. Next, we play 3 copies of Dimension Shifter. Dimension Shifter works in any strategy that essentially banishes, so why not go ahead and play it? Plus, it also counters the best deck currently of the format, which, who knows, we might get another Banlist before February. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there. They might be releasing one right before the set drops, so definitely go ahead and make sure you're getting rid of your cards now if you are not going to be playing Shizu Tier Element coming into this upcoming format. So next, to round up the monster lineup, guys, we got 3 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Just a phenomenal card to go ahead and use against Fluanderies and the Shizu Tier Element and Sprite. It's just a lot for the deck and a lot for this current format as it is. Now, this deck list might change as the formats do change as well. We are getting another set in January, which I don't really think is going to impact the meta. But again, who knows? Konami has released some juice before. So definitely make sure you stay tuned with the channel to see how this deck changes out throughout the time. That's gonna be it for the monster lineup, guys. We have 19 monsters in the main deck. Now going on to the spells. Starting off with the spells, guys, we have the brand new field spell for the Kashtira strategy. We have Prime Planet Parasios. So when this card's activated, it's kind of like a Trickstar Light Stage. You get to add any Kashtira monster from your deck to your hand, which is why we're playing 3 of them, so that add much more consistency to the deck. Search whatever you want. Really good. Also with the 1 terraforming. But also has another effect where monster you control get 100 attack and defense for each different attribute among the monsters on the field, which is cool. I mean, it's nice to have that, but essentially you are going to be getting it to only to have the additional target and destroy cards on the field, which is the 3rd effect this card has, but to also be able to have that much more consistency within your deck and that much more viability within the deck as well. Next, guys, we are playing 1 copy of Kashtira Papaya, the fruit. Yes, the fruit. So we're playing 3 copies of Papaya. So basically what that allows us to do is to target a Kashtira monster you control and special summon a different monster with a different attribute from your deck, which is why also we have a great diversity of monsters, and why it's so important to either play the Tearlament Kashtira or the Ogre Kashtira, because they're both water attributes, which gives you that much more diversity of monsters that you can then go ahead and summon in the event that you are in a later grind game as well. 3 copies of Papayas, really good card as well. And then we play 3 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This is a very monster effect heavy format. If you're not playing Triple Tactics Talent, you are mistaken. You need to go ahead and play this card. Now, I believe Photon Hypernova also has Triple Tactics Talent, or Triple Tactics, or whatever, the other card that allows you to search a normal spell or trap, or just trap, or I forgot what exactly it was. I believe it only searches normal spells, but you can definitely go ahead and use that in your strategy as well. I personally prefer Triple Tactics Talents because it has a little bit more versatility for it, at least for the current format, and also being able to have hand knowledge is really key. So that's primarily 2 ones that I'm looking for, is the draw 2 cards or having hand knowledge of your opponent's cards, and just being able to go off from there. Next, we do play 3 copies of Dark Rune No More in case we are going second, guys. This deck does struggle a little bit going second, but that's where other cards really come into play. I'm not going to say that if you're going second, you're automatically going to lose. That's not the case by any means. You have some really fantastic going second cards like D-Shifter, Ash, Dark Rune No More. We'll also play Imperm in the deck, but it's just a precautionary measure for you as well. Next, we are playing 2 copies of Kashtira Birth. This allows you to give you an additional, not additional normal summon, but allows you to normal summon a level 7 monster without tributing, which is also really key to be able to spam high level monsters onto your field to be able to go into your Xyz place for your Shangri-La or your Kashtira Air's Heart. To round off these spells, guys, we have 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity to have that additional consistency. Also banishes cards face down, so you get that double bonus from it also. For the traps, play 3 copies of Imperm, which we already went over. And the last card, the 41st card in the deck, we are playing 1 Kashtira Big Bang, which is essentially an evenly match for the strategy, which is crazy to even think about, which also Ogre does search traps, so you are able to have that consistency as well. Being able to search out your Kashtira Big Bang, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. So that is it for the main deck, guys. Now going on to the extra deck, we have the first 2 Charmers to go over. We have the Earth Charmer and the Wind Charmer. We are playing Unicorn, and a lot of these are going to be Earth type, especially the Scareclaw, and along with the Fenrir. So really good to go ahead and have this to have a little bit more versatility with you. I would say you could potentially play the water one just because Tearlament does play a little bit of water monsters in their deck as well, but not necessarily as much. Next, for the last Link monster, we want to play 3 Link monsters in the deck. We play 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. I was very much considering putting Access Code Talker in this slot, but having BLS and having synergy with level 7 specific monsters, making it untargetable with card effects, also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effect. It's just really good to go ahead and have on your field. Is a 3000 attack monster that just cannot die, essentially, which is really good. Don't get me wrong, it can still be potentially banished with a, if you go up against Tri-Brigade, it can be banished with an Omen because it's not being destroyed, it's not being targeted, but realistically they don't make them like Shirag Omen anymore, unfortunately. But that's going to be it for the Link monsters, guys. Now on to the Xyz monsters. We have 2 copies of the Shangri-La. Shangri-La is going to be the main focal point of the strategy. Just being able to snipe zones on your opponent's board constantly is really good. 1 number 11 Big Eye for in the event that you want to play Astro Karibo in this. This is really good option to go into, but it's also really good going second, guys. You can go ahead and snatch one of your opponent's monsters and go ahead and take it from there. 1 Draco Sack, one of the best rank 7s ever made. 1 number 76 Harmonizer. So this is really good because it has a quick effect where you can go ahead and actually grab a card from your opponent's graveyard, grab a monster, and go ahead and attach it to it as a material. So if your opponent wants to activate a Sheeran or whatever, or a Hafnis to go ahead and fusion summon, you can chain 76 and snatch that card from your opponent's graveyard, and then they'll have to go ahead and chain with a Keldo or Medora just to keep it. But are they really going to be wasting that on just to save one fusion summon? I don't know, but it is really good, fantastic, actually I should say, interruption for the deck. Next we play one number 89, Diabolos the Mind Hacker. We've already talked about this card in the previous deck profile. This is actually a phenomenal card. So you can very easily put Astral Karibo in. The only issue with Astral Karibo is that it locks you into specifically summoning number monsters. So that is a bit of a hindrance, but there's so many really good number monsters to go into that even if you do guys want to play Astral Karibo, it's not going to be essentially a bad option for you. Next we have one Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon to burn in time, and then two of the brand new Kashtira Xyz monster, Kashtira Rise Heart, which takes 3 level 7 monsters. And this is absolutely mind-blowing, guys. So what this guy does is he's a walking macrocosmos. His any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead, and then once per chain, not once per turn, once per chain, each time a card is banished, you get to attach one banished card to this card as a material, and then once per turn you can quick effect detach 3 materials from this card and target 1 card on the field to banish it face down, which is absolutely crazy, which then activates Shangri-La, and the synergy with this deck is just so beautiful, so beautiful. So not only are you banishing your opponent's cards face down, you are also sniping out your opponent's zone, so you are destroying their deck and destroying their field at the same time, which is absolutely just phenomenal to think about. We do have space to play 2 copies of AA Zeus. We play a lot of phenomenal Xyz monsters. So a lot of this, we're only going to be activating their detach effects once. They're gonna have the original material plus the Xyz material, which makes Zeus that much more viable as well. And then we also have the 1 copy of Baron de Fleur, because we are playing Ash Blossom, and all these are level 7, so it's the easiest to level 10 synchro to make. Why not go ahead and play the Baron de Fleur? But that is gonna actually do it for my Kashtira Cash Money deck profile post Photon Hypernova. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I've been messing around with this deck, honestly really like it. If it weren't so darn expensive, I would definitely go ahead and picking up this deck, because it does a lot of things for you. It is the ultimate, I want to say, control deck, just being able to banish cards face down, banish cards, excavate cards from your opponent's deck, banish more cards, banish more cards, and then also a snipe in all the zones your opponent's playing. Is actually so crazy, guys. So I absolutely love this deck. If you guys want to see me do some testing with this deck, let me know in the comment section down below. Overall, if you guys enjoy it, leave a like, subscribe for more, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in the next one.